Flosstube, it's Lindsay and welcome back to Blushing Pink Stitches. Today is Monday the 7th. Why don't I check these things before I press record? Monday the 7th of October, and this is Flosstube number 52. So welcome back. It's been a while. I feel like I've said that quite a few times recently. I've had to put my camera at a bit of a different angle today because the sun is quite low in the sky and it's shining right in through the blinds and on my face, and for some reason I can't put the blinds down. They're like electric ones and they don't seem to have run out of battery because they normally beep at me, but I don't know, I just can't get them to go down. So I've sort of switched the angle slightly so the iPad is not quite as stable as it normally is. But anyway, yeah, it's been quite a while. Life, I have not had my Mondays off for a while because my mum has been on holiday, so I've had to switch my day at work, and so that means that I've been having Tuesdays off, and Tuesday is a day where Bella is not at preschool, and so we've been doing things obviously, and the weekends have just been super busy, so I've had like no time to film at the weekends. So this is the first opportunity that I'm getting to sit down and film, and it's probably been about 6 weeks which is ridiculous, but there we go. I'm finally getting around to it. I feel like it'll be better from now on. Mum is back from holiday, so it should only be like the school holidays that interrupt things. It's shining right here. Like, I love the fact that it's sunny today, but yeah, it's not doing great things for the lighting. But anyway, I can't do anything about it. So I've got quite a bit to share with you today because it's been so long. I've got a finish, I've got a number of whips, one new start, I think. I've got quite a bit of haul, well, quite a bit. I went to the Essex Needles Retreat in September, so yeah, I've got some things to show you from that, and yeah, sort of the lowdown on what the weekend was like and things, and yeah, it's been a while basically. So let's just crack on. The finish that I have to show you today is this kit by Magic Needle that is called Pink Rose, and I stitch it with all of the kit materials. So it's a 14 count like cream Ada, and then it came with it doesn't say where it is DMC. Oh, it's Gamma floss, and this is my finish. So I worked on it for I think just one day actually in September, it looks like. I'm just looking at my my diary. So this didn't take me long to do at all. I think maybe this only took me 2 days to stitch because I started it in May when I was doing sort of like a start a day for a while. So I worked on it for one day in May and then finished it off in September. So it's really pretty. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. Maybe make it into a pillow. That might be quite nice. Get some nice pinky fabric for the back. But yeah, it's really pretty. So that one's now finished. Let's make this a bit bigger so I can lay things on here. So let me just grab from my whip pile. Okay, so living in this project bag that I made is TWY Toyy, and this is by Long Dog Samplers. This is the first Long Dog sampler that I have bought and kitted up and started. So I'm using, I think it's a 28 count white even weave and like all the called for floss in DMC. And I only worked on this for one day, and I don't know if I even wrote down Let's have a little look. I've got 652 stitches, but for some reason I just didn't fancy picking it up the next day, so I didn't. So here it is now. So I basically came along with here. I filled in some black, I think, and then I came along with here and I was doing all of the other motifs in the border on the next page, and then with the idea that I would then go back and fill in all of the black afterwards. But I really, really like how that border looks. There's quite a lot of colour. Well, that's not true. There are colour changes in it, and then like you get like a couple of stitches of one colour down here and then it's up here and stuff like that. But the good thing about this border is that it's full coverage, so it doesn't really matter what you do on the back. Like, well, actually it looks quite neat on the back saying that, but you can carry threads if you want to in the border. So yeah, worked on that for a day. I'm glad, because I hadn't got it out since I started it at some point last year, I think. So that's good. Oh no, I've left the I've left this out. Okay, let's put that back in there. I love the facts that I'm making. Put it in my own project bag. It's great. And talking of my own project bags, this is another one that I've got in a project bag that I made. And this is another kit. This is Gold Collection Petite Chickadees in Spring. And I worked on this for 2 days, and I basically worked down in this, what is this, your left hand corner, and underneath the bed. So what I was doing was filling in these flowers. Just put something behind this. I'll just put this behind it. Here we go. I was filling in these flowers and some of the background as I went. So I've got down to the bottom left hand corner, and again, just really loving it. I tried to be a bit more strategic about sort of working my way across here, because before I was sort of alternating between the background and doing the birds, but I thought I must concentrate on some of these white flowers, because otherwise they just won't get done. Yeah, so that's where that's at the moment. It's really pretty. Yeah, I love all of the like the half stitch watercolour background, and it just makes everything in the foreground really pop. So yeah, so this is everything that came in the kit. So it's a 16 count Dove Grey Ada, and then these are all of the flosses. My flosses never look tidy, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I like using floss drops. So that is that one. This is a whip that I worked on apart from a stitching shelf. I just worked on this exclusively during the Essex Needles Retreat. I took a lot less whips than I'd taken before, and in the end I just wanted something that I could stitch in hand, and I was really sort of like motivated by the progress that I was getting during the 3 days that I was there, so I just carried on basically. So this is Maidens of the Seasons Part 1 by Mirabilia. And I am stitching these separately. I do have the other pattern as well. So I started with Spring. And this is being stitched on a 28 count marbled rose even weave from Pole Stitches. I'll just fold this over. Here we go. And this is where I got to. So before I'd done all of this, these sort of like, are they supposed to be grapes? I think so. Yeah, I think they're supposed to be grapes and vines. And so then what I did was I came down and I started on her hair, and I brought her hair down, So that's all completely done apart from beads. And then I brought the vines down a little bit more here, and then I started on her dress. And I think what I'll do when I pick this up next time is alternate between her skin and the dress, to kind of, so I don't have to do the skin all in one go. There's not a lot of it, but it kind of breaks it up a bit, because I do like doing skin 1/1. Yeah. Oh, the light. Go away. It's shining really, really brightly now. Oh, is it going behind a cloud? Maybe. I don't know. Why can't I shut that blind? Oh, silly. So yeah, I'm using all of the called for DMC for that one, and I do have all of the beads. Are they like in a little bag so I can show you? Yeah, I have all of the beads. These are for, this is for spring and summer. And the chronic in there as well. So yeah, there's only one chronic in there. I mean, it only calls for one chronic. Yeah, only calls for one chronic. So I do really like working on that. And actually I started that at the Essex Needles Retreat in March. So it was kind of nice to carry it on in September. Okay, another one that I worked on that I started last year and then hadn't picked up again is Autumn in the Village, and this is by Stony Creek. I have, I think, the summer one of this as well, but I still need to collect the other two patterns. So this is being stitched on a piece of 28 count. Is this white or is it ivory? I think it's white. White even weave. With all the call for DMC. And this is how far I got. So when you saw it last, I'd stitched this pumpkin stand and the lamp, but I hadn't backstitched them. So, well, I'd backstitched the 30 cent bit up the top. So I came in and I backstitched all of the cart and the lamp, and then I did all of this tree up here and the trunk as far as I could, and then I started on what is going to be the needle workshop just next to it here. So I started sort of outlining the reef and things like that. I was really enjoying it. I'm stitching this from my master set of DMC because there are quite a few colour changes, and the DMC list for this is really long. Let me show you. Look at that. And I figured that you probably don't need that much of each of the flosses. So I do have the Karen Water Lilies, the Karen Water Lily for the border. You can see this border underneath here is variegated. And I am going to stitch that saying, where is, so you can see in here, I've got the Karen Water Lily and also the, what is it? Rainbow blending thread. Not quite sure what that's for at the moment, but yeah, I am using those speciality threads, and then everything else I'm stitching from my master set. So it was really lovely to pick that up again. I really enjoyed working on it, so hopefully that will come out again soon. Let's just get rid of that so I don't lose my battery. Oh, this is another new start actually. I have two new starts. So this is actually a bit of stash as well. So I'd seen Laura from I Stitch Birds stitching on this for the, I think she stitched on it for the Tour de France. I'm pretty sure she did. Yeah, and I love the kit, and so I'd put it sort of like as a notification on eBay, and it came up and somebody was selling it for a really, really reasonable price, and so I couldn't turn it down. As far as I'm aware, this is an out of print kit. So this is Parisian Bicycle by Dimensions. It's really beautiful. It's right up my street in terms of that sort of like vintagey European kind of thing. I haven't stitched a lot of that stuff, but I do like it. And I'm using all of the kit materials again. It comes with 14 count light green Ada, and here are all of the flosses. Alright, so I like taking them off of that floss card, and I started in the middle because there's no sort of, I suppose I could have started up here, but this bit is quite boring to start with, so I wanted to start in the middle so I knew where I was. This is a nightmare. Honestly. Maybe I should have filmed this afternoon, but I'm doing it now, it doesn't matter. So I think this is the right way up. So this is how far I got. So I worked on it for a couple of days, and I got this is basically like the bottom of the flowers in the bicycle basket. So I was just working on all of those different colours, and they're really lovely shades of pink and peach and red. So yeah, happy with that. I'm stitching this one with Sarah. I think her YouTube channel is called Cross Stitch Sarah. But I put that I had this kit on my like Instagram stories, and she said, "Oh, I've had that for years. Why don't we start it together?" Yes, why not? I think the sun might be going behind a cloud. Okay, on to some full coverage. Oh, so let's grab my tablet. So this is an Enchanted Place. The artwork is by Ida Jose Rosa, and it's charted by Stitchy So Beautiful. So I'm stitching this as part of a sale with Ebony from In Stitches in Ebony and Dawn from DM's Crafty Vortex. They started the sale and I jumped in basically. So this is the image. It's really beautiful. Again, you've got that watercolour effect that I just seem to be really loving at the moment. And it's so colourful. So I believe when I filmed last, that I was going to be starting this, yeah, the next day. So I worked on this for 2 days. I got 1,368 stitches. I'll just tell you what that is as a percentage. When Pattern Keeper decides to wake up. So I'm at 1.49%. I just feel like you work this when you're wrangling material. Oh dear. Okay, so I did a top left corner start. This is 25 count even weave, and it's 1/1 full cross using AMO floss. So that's how far I got. So I like to work in 10 by 10 blocks across a page, but working that thread wherever it goes within that page. And I will go over the page a little bit, but I don't tend to venture very far. So that's where we are. It's really pretty. The colours are lovely. So I got that started. So if you want to go and see some other versions of it, if you use the hashtag, if you search for the hashtag An Enchanted Place SAL on Instagram, you should be able to see other people's progress on that. It's a really lovely pattern. Okay, then I did my September stitches on Quick Stitch Tranquil Tulip. This is artwork by Hannah Disney and it's charted by Heaven and Nav Designs. And in September I did 1,958 stitches and I'm at 76.73%. So we're getting there. So this is where we're up to now. So yeah, the top of that butterfly is really coming in. You can see the detail in its little antenna here and all of the lovely background colours. This is being stitched in AMO as well. And again, it's 25 count even weave, 1/1 full cross. It's really pretty. I should have put a picture on the screen of where it was the last time. I forgot to say that. Out of practice. I don't tend to do that with my non-full coverage, but I do with my full coverage. So yeah, I'm pleased with how that's going on. That should definitely be a finish by the end of the year. Okay, this is Japanese Garden. Where is it on here? Here we go. It's a pattern by Cross Stitch Obsession on Etsy. And this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. It's a really small full coverage, so it's only 70 by 70. And again, I'm stitching it 25 count, 1/1 full cross using DMC floss. So I'll put a picture up on the screen of where you saw it the last time. And then this is where we're up to now. So what I did this time around, I filled in a little bit down here, but then I decided that I was going to go to the top left corner and just work my way across in those 10 by 10 blocks like I normally do. So you can see a lot more of the cherry blossom tree coming in here and some tree on the other side. And it is looking a lot more filled in now. So I got on this one, I've written this one down because I worked on this in October. No, did I write it on Instagram? Let's have a little look. I think I did. So I got 1,283 stitches and this is now at 65.53%. So I added just under 20%, I think. It's really pretty. Yeah, I can imagine this in like a little frame on my desk or behind me, and I think that will look really delicate and lovely. So that is that one. Before I show you my stitching shelf, I also had one new start, or another new start, and this is also a purchase from the Essex Needles Retreat. So from Megan, I bought Hive Rules, Megan from Coffee Craft Fabrics, by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and this is a pattern that I've been looking at for a while. There are lots of words on it, so I wasn't 100% sure whether it was going to be a pattern for me, but I did really like it, so I thought I'd give it a go. So I bought some fabric while I was at the retreat from Megan. So I bought this, like, let's get this off of here. This is like a yellowy, greeny. If I put it back here, I don't think you're going to get this true colour of it because of the sunlight either. It's a autumny golden yellow, and then it's got some green mottlin in it. It's really lovely. So I started this on Saturday, I think, after I'd got an order of Royal Broidery in, so I had a shop update, and I got some floss for this, and this is how far I've got. I'm really enjoying stitching on this. Like this will be my third day stitching on it, and I want to keep going. So the first day I'd sort of got Hive Rules in, and then the second day I did the bee, the hive and the flowers and the flower little sort of like separator, and then I started working on the is it Be Sweet that's underneath. So today I'd quite like to finish off the sweet, and there's a little like I don't know what they're called, like wooden thing that you put in honey. Yeah, so we'll see how far we get with that with today, but it's really pretty on this fabric as well. On the model, it's stitched in white. It's on 25 count white fabric, and it looks really lovely on the white, but I felt like I wanted to do it on something hand dyed, so I think this is going to look lovely. The threads really stand out lovely against it. So yeah, that's how far we are. Okay, so like I said, I'll work on that again today. I'll just show you, these are the flosses that I've used so far. These are, like I said, it's raw embroidery, and then I've also got and these ones that I haven't used yet. So it's a really pretty colour palette. Not that many flosses either. So yeah, and there's a tiny bit of backstitch in it. Like I had to backstitch the little B in the S up here. There's a bit of backstitch on this honey pot. There's bits and pieces, like these honeycombs are backstitched here. So there's bits and pieces of backstitch in it, but it's not like extensive. So if you're not really into backstitch, then this is definitely a pattern for you. And it makes me want to start other things by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I have a Christmas pattern that again Megan sent. I got it as a kit from her. Yeah, it makes me want to start that now. Okay, and then last but not least, in terms of the whips, is my Focus full coverage, and that is Supersize Max Colour, a stitching shelf. This is artwork by Amy Stewart, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of the last time that you saw it. I've sort of changed my plans a couple of times. So I don't know whether the last time that I spoke to you, I was thinking about doing 300 stitches a day in order to try and get the first shelf finished by the end of the year. So I spent quite a lot of time in September on that plan. And then I think when I was close to finishing one of the pages, I sort of counted up how many pages I had left on the shelf. And Heaven and Earth design pages tend to be between like 7,000 and 7,500 stitches, and that wasn't tallying up with the number of stitches that I thought I had left. So when I spoke about it on Instagram, somebody was saying, oh, I think it's because the top shelf is like slightly taller than like the bottom shelf, for example. So if you have a look at this, like that top shelf, so I'm stitching down to here, which is just the bottom of the second row of pages. Well, this row of page, this shelf down here definitely looks not as tall, shorter than that top one. So I think that's probably where like I've miscalculated. So anyway, when I worked that out, I was spending quite a lot of time on it and not a lot of time on anything else. And that was sort of frustrating me, especially because if I knew that I would get to that shelf by the end of the year, then it would have been worth it. But I kind of worked out that I wasn't going to. And when I sort of times 7,500 by 8, it sort of worked out that I had to do over 500 stitches a day in order to finish the shelf by the end of the year instead of 300. And I just thought, I just can't do that because I will be dedicating all of my time to it. And whilst it's great to see the progress on this, it was frustrating me that I wasn't able to work on other things. And you have to be happy in what you're doing with your hobby, right? So anyway, I put a picture up on the screen of the last time that you saw it, and I'm also going to put a picture up on the screen of the last time it was out of the frame, because I finished a page last week, so I took it out of the frame and I took a picture of it, and I know some of you will have seen that on Instagram, but just so that you can see what it looks like in its entirety, because it's back in the Q-snap. When I do the second row of pages, I like to have it in the Q-snap rather than the merge. So this is where we're at now. We're working on this page here, and I've been filling in the lady's face. This is sort of little, I I don't know whether this is like a sewing box. You can see the table and then like the chair that she's sitting on. Yeah, so this is all what I'm filling in at the moment. So that's kind of where we're up to. It's really pretty. This I've stitched in total 151,650 stitches, and it's at 21.26%. And I have stitched more on this year than I did last year. So I did 9% on this last year, and this year so far I have done 10%. So yeah, I'll maybe get another 1 or 2% in by the end of the year, and I'll be really happy with that. So we'll get to the end of the shelf when we get there. You have to enjoy what you're doing, don't you? So yeah. Again, this is 25 count even weave, 1/1 full cross. I'm stitching this with DMC. Let's put that back in there. Okay, have a bit of a drink. Okay, so get this down from here. I'm going to go through my haul, and I'll probably talk about the Essex Needles Retreat at the same sort of time, because I have in here some stuff from the retreat, so I might as well sort of talk about. Yeah, I took my shop to the retreat. I was there all weekend from Friday to Sunday, and my friend Becky came this time, and it was really lovely to spend all of that time with her, and we sat together, and yeah, it was lovely. And we also had some other lovely, really lovely table mates as well, and actually we're all going out together at the beginning of November to like a local quilt show, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, it'll be really lovely to meet up with them again. Yeah, I did really well with my shop, like, yeah, and it was another great weekend. I was a bit more careful this time about how much I drank, so I made sure I drank more. I made sure I was careful about what clothes I wore, because I can't wear jeans to retreats, because I just feel like in the afternoon, you know, like, I don't know about you, but anyway, when I get home from work or at a certain point in the evening when Bella is getting in the bath, I put my pyjamas on. So, you know, by sort of like 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm in my pyjamas. So I've taken jeans off, you know, it's that lovely taking your bra off feeling. And so, you know, I'm not wearing jeans for the entire day. But before, when I was at a retreat and I was wearing jeans for the, you know, you're sat in the stitching room until like 10 o'clock at night or whatever time you decide to go to bed. And I can't wear jeans for that long, because I just end up getting a tummy ache. Yeah, I feel far too bloated basically. So yeah, I was a bit more careful about what clothes I wore. And then on the Saturday afternoon, Becky and I went for a walk. She found a like a nearby footpath, which I didn't really know existed, because it's the hotel where the retreat is at, it's next to Stansted Airport, so it's all quite industrial around there. But she found this really lovely public footpath, and we were able to go for a walk and get some fresh air, and I think that's really important as well. So yeah, like when I was there in March, I felt like I had a headache for the entire weekend, but this time around I didn't, and it was much better. So yeah, so let's just go through what I got. From the freebie table, I got this kit from Cross Stitcher magazine. It's like a little pin cushion, but I thought it was really sweet, and it was free. So you stitch this bit here, and then it's comes with all the materials. It's got all the floss and then the material to finish it off, including the like cross stitcher tape. So I couldn't really pass that up. Have my little name tag from the retreat. Also on the freebie table, one of the ladies had bought in some DMC that she'd found in a charity shop, I think, and they were all on these bobbins. So I just picked up a few colours on the bobbins, and I thought I'd add them to my master set because they were free. So I didn't take all of them, but I took a few. That same lady came round and gave everybody, let's make sure I've got both the things in here. There was that, and there was something else that she gave everyone. Let's take this out of here. Oh, it's in here. Yeah, Marianne. She came round and she gave everybody like a little zipper pull thing. There's a name for these and I can't remember what the name is. It's really pretty, so I'll put that on one of my project bags. And then she also gave us a needle minder, and it says the Bad Bitch Club Essex Needles 2024. So I mean, these are lovely. Yeah, so I get to put that on one of my projects now, which is good. You know, I can't use anything. Well, that's not completely true, but you know, things sit in your haul box. And then on the last day, she had like a tub of things that she'd also brought in, and I managed to get one of these Essex Retreat key rings. So it says Stitch Life on the back, and that's really lovely. So I might put this as a zipper pull as well. We'll see. I'll have to find a way of getting it on, but anyway. Also off of the freebie table, I got a copy of Cross Stitch Gold Scenery Collection. Now I do have access to Readerly, where you can look at all of the previous editions of Cross Stitch Gold, but it's quite nice to have some physical editions every now and again. And there are a couple of patterns I really like in here. Like I really like this one, and I really like this one as well. So yeah, I was just kind of flicking through. I thought, actually, I'm going to take that home because there's at least a couple of things in here that I really like the look of. So yeah, I took that with me. Then Naomi was there, and she was selling lots of fabric for making things like project bags. And so I picked up from her this piece here. It's called Night Jungle by Elena Essex for Dashwood Studio. And it's this look. Look at how pretty this is. I mean, I was drawn to all the pinks and the teals. They're really lovely. So yeah, I think I'm going to make a project bag out of that. I need to decide what the inside fabric's going to be. But yeah, so I couldn't pass that up. So I bought I think a metre off of her for that. So actually I could make a couple of project bags. That goes with something in here, so I won't show you that yet. There was a lovely lady there, and her company was called Stitchy, and I picked up a project bag from her. Look at this. Wow. So first of all, like the craftsmanship of this project bag is just lovely. Look at how neatly it's stitched. I'm in awe. And then not only is the back panel quilted, so you've got a different material here to what you've got on the inside, and then she's embroidered the inside, which, you know, I know some people would say, oh well, you're not going to see that if you put a project in there, but it's just too pretty. She did have ones that didn't have the embroidery inside, but they were a really reasonable price, and I just loved it. And then you've got this lovely fabric zipper pull, lovely pink zipper. Just everything about it is lovely. She does have her own website. It's called stitchmajig.co.uk. She's on Facebook and Instagram as well. So yeah, you can look up her details. But she was telling me, I think, that she was going to a retreat in Norfolk a couple of weeks afterwards. So she is around some retreats as well. Yeah, so definitely look out for her. Okay, let's go through this box now. This is a pattern that I bought for Bella because she wanted me to stitch her a rainbow. So this is called Rainbow Mood by Cross Stitch Patterns. So I bought that off of Etsy. I will leave a link down below to anything that I talk about that I can provide a link for. And I bought the raw embroidery floss for it in my recent order. And what I'm going to do is use the 28 count white even weave that I am not going to use for the ABC thing I'm doing for her. For that, basically. Okay, so this is a pattern that I bought from Zarina from Hawkins Hobbies. This is Magnolia by Bella Filipina. And I've been looking at this pattern for a while. And you'll have to excuse this because this is me when I've opened the packet, basically. Look, you can see it just come off. Yeah, I've been looking at this a few times before when I've seen her. And I finally decided that I was going to get it. And my friend Becky got it too. And so he does a few in this Au Naturel collection. And apparently he's going to be adding more to the collection as well. So watch this space. And actually, I had this piece of Fabrics by Crafty Kate, Fabric of the Month from June. It's like a neutral, because I didn't want to put it just on, what does this say it's on? Or does it not? I think it's just a cream linen or even weave, which looks lovely, but I wanted something. So this is very subtly mottled. So I'm going to put it on there. And then again, I ordered all of the raw embroidery floss. And just look at this colour palette. You wouldn't think that all of those colours are in there, but they are. So I think that is going to look really lovely on there. So, and you know, I've talked recently about I quite like buying patterns and then like kitting it up with the fabric as soon as possible, because otherwise they just languish in my cupboard. I mean, not that I haven't got anything else that I can be doing. Okay, this is a kit that I saw on VK, and I immediately went and saw where can I get it shipped to the UK, and there's a website called The Cotton Worm, I think it is. I'll leave a link in the description box below. She's in Spain, and she sells this kit and a few others that are a part of this range. Yeah, so this is the one here. It's called The Old Bakery. I just loved it. Look at the detail on that. I mean, this would take a while to stitch, obviously, but it's beautiful. So it's got 16 count Ada in it. It looks like an off-whitey colour. These are all of their flosses, and they are Luca S and DMC flosses. And then you can see you get like a little needle in here. It's 180 by 180. It does have some blends. It does have some backstitch. And I don't know about French knots. It doesn't look like it has French knots to me, but it definitely has blends and backstitch. So yeah. It was out of stock when I first saw it on the website, so I did a notification. It came up. Oh yeah, I made needle minders for the Essex Needles Retreat as like a retreat freebie for Teresa and Ellie. And these were the needle minders that I made, so everybody got one of these. So yeah, now I can use my own one of those as well. Oh, okay, the other pattern that I bought from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics is Summer by the Cricket Collection. I have Autumn all kitted up ready to go, and I want to collect obviously the other seasons. So I bought Summer, and I bought a piece of, this is 28 count linen from her to stitch it on. I don't like this purple fabric that they've stitched it on. What even is it? Does it say? 30 count antique hydrangea linen. But I just don't think, it's quite pale. And I figured this would really show up those colours. And I have seen it stitched on like a swimming pool blue before, and it looks lovely. So I'm going to go with that. I've got those two. What else did I buy at the retreat? Oh yeah. I think these are the last bits I bought. So again, off of Zarina at Hawkins Hobbies, I got Glowing Pumpkin from Mill Hill. Little kit. They're appropriate for this time of year. And I really like the black and the orange. They do some other ones in the range, you can see on the back here. I quite like the sunflowers. And that Bewitching Pumpkin is quite a nice one as well. But I don't like the other ones in the kit, in the series, sorry. But yeah, this is really lovely. Little Halloween ornament. And then also off of Zarina, I bought Mayari, Deity of the Moon by Bella Filipina. These are, there's a set of 3 that you can buy of these. Some people are stitching them all together on a big piece of fabric. I don't want to do that. But my friend Becky is stitching her, and she is so beautiful. So I think when I've got a bit of money, I'm going to buy a piece of Midnight, I think it is, from Fabrics by Crafty Kate. She does custom sizes of stuff. So you need a bit more than a fat half of this. But you can fill in her custom order thing on her website. And she'll dye you the size that you want. So yeah, when I get a bit of Christmas money, maybe I'm going to get a bit of fabric for her. She's lovely. I don't know whether I'll stitch the other 2, perhaps, but we'll do one at a time. And then a piece of Stitchy Kindness, and they had a few, like, on the Saturday, they had a few people come that just came for the day on Saturday. And Alison is a lady that I've met a few times before. She bought my first Lowry from me. I've seen her a couple of times at this local stitching group that I've been to. And she comments on my videos all the time, so hello Alison. She was stitching this when I went to the local sewing group one time, and I was admiring it. And so she came and saw me on the Saturday afternoon, and she said, oh, I finished this. Would you like to have the pattern? It's so kind of her. So this is Seasons of the Heart by With Thy Needle and Thread. So you've got spring and summer on the front. And the only thing that I won't include in summer is the American flags. So I'm just going to leave those out. Perhaps I will extend this border around here. And then you've got autumn and winter on the back. They're really lovely little pillows. So that was so generous of her. Thank you so much, Alison. So yeah, lovely. Okay, and then I just have one more pattern and some fabric to show you. So this is the next one in the Fabulous Houses series. It's Fairy House by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is number 10, so there are 2 left in this series, and I know the next one is the Haunted House, so there's just one more that hasn't been released yet, and then this collection will be complete. I've had these on auto ship from Patchwork Rabbit. So yeah, there's that. And then I just have some fabric to show you. So 2 bits from Fabrics by Crafty Kate. This was the August fabric of the month. It's like a reddy pinky colour with some splotches of blue. I'm not going to take these out of the packet, but yeah, that's nice. This one is the September one. I get a 28 count even weave in everything. I mean, I got linen for summer, but just because the colour was a bit more saturated, it makes sense. So this was the September one. So again, you got like a purple with some pinks and some blues. Really pretty. And then from Sparklies, I got the May and June fabric of the month is this neutral. So it's a nice sort of like creamy grey colour. And the July and August fabric of the month is this one. This is a little bit similar to that one that I'm stitching High Rules on. It's like a yellowy colour with some grey and blues in it. It's really nice. This is like a nice Halloween piece of fabric. But yeah, so that's everything in my box. And I think that's everything. Yeah, I think so. We're at 51 minutes. And I will have had to edit some bits of the camera falling down. And the sun has tailed off a bit now. Oh dear. So yeah, we've been very busy with Bella over the last few weekends as well. She's birthday party season. So we went to a birthday party yesterday in a village hall with a bouncy castle. We've got another one in a couple of weeks' time, another one the week after that. I'm going to the knitting and stitching show with my friend Becky next Sunday, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. We went last year together as well, and it's great. So yeah, we've got that next weekend. Then I'm going to Megan's Stitchy Day on Saturday. I think it's the 19th of October. Yeah, so she's organised a Stitchy Day. I think it's in Tunbridge Wells, so I'm taking my shop to that. So if you're interested in going, then check out Megan's Facebook group. They've just moved the Stitchy Day into a bigger room, so she can accommodate more people. So if you're interested in going, then yeah, go and look on her Facebook group, because that's in a couple of weeks' time, and she does have spaces because like she's moved into this bigger room now. So yeah, that's really great. Yeah, so I've got a few things coming up, and then after that it's half term, so we've got a week of being together, which is great. It's Halloween. I think we're going to take Bella to some sort of organised trick-or-treat thing again. Last year we took her to Chessington, and we paid for her to do trick-or-treating at Chessington. There aren't many places that do organised trick-or-treating, and I think they're missing a trick big time. There was a company that I saw on Facebook the other day, I'm not going to name them, but they were doing a trick-or-treating event, and it was like coupled with other things going on, but at the end of it they got one bag of Skittles. So it's not particularly, yeah, a few more. Anyway, yeah, so we've got some things coming up to do as well, which is great. So yeah, I should be now on a much more regular schedule. The only things that are changing slightly is I've got some primary school visits to do with Bella. She's starting primary school in September, so we're doing some visits and having a look around different places. So I did one last week, I've got one in a couple of weeks' time, and then I'm hoping to go and visit a couple more once they become available. Make some big decisions about her primary school in September. I can't believe we've got to this point, really. Yeah. But yeah, so I think I'm going to love you and leave you because I've been here enough. I should be back in a couple of weeks' time. So today is the 7th. I should be back on the 21st of October. Yeah, so I'm planning on doing every 2 weeks now, because I do have some videos that I want to do in between as well. So like next Monday, I want to film a video that's slightly different. I've got a list and I just haven't been able to do anything off of this list. Just time, basically. But there we go. I should be back on a schedule. I should have some more time now. So yeah, I want to say I hope you all have a lovely couple of weeks, get in some good stitchy time. Any comments or questions, leave them down below. I love chatting to you guys as always. Have a lovely day and I will see you soon. Bye.